Hello, Butterfly here with Butterfly Insights, coming to you to talk to you about discerning a toxic relationship from a healthy one. Now, a lot of times people think, well, I know what that looks like, but then a lot of times people find themselves constantly attracting an unhealthy relationship, and they don't know what the heck's going on. Why am I attracting this all the time? So, how can I tell the difference? How can I get in a relationship with somebody who's healthy? So I'm going to give you some things to look for when you're starting to relate with somebody, when you're just starting to date somebody, and to see if they're a healthy person or an unhealthy person. And a lot of times, many times, people that join my group, people that have relationship trauma and come to me that want to join my work with me on my transformation system, have been through a lot of childhood and relationship trauma. Relationship trauma is huge. It's a lot bigger and has a bigger impact on you than people give it credit for. But many times, and more times than not, those people have been in a relationship with a narcissist. So I'm going to help you identify certain behaviors within a relationship and whether that person is likely a narcissist or a healthy person. So I'm going to go through this with you and help you see what some of those differences are so you can help yourself going forward as you're relating with people. So, empathy is the first thing. Now, somebody who's a healthy person shows empathy and compassion towards others. They listen attentively. They validate feelings. Yes, men too. Some of you are thinking, not men. Yeah, men. Real healthy men will listen. They will validate feelings, and they will offer support without, behaving like they're being judgmental. So a narcissist will lack empathy, is primarily focused on fulfilling their own needs. They may dismiss or belittle others' emotions and show little concern with how those, how their behavior impacts others. They don't care. They really don't care. And I'll tell you, these traits, including this one, is a big one, will be feigned. They can feign it really good a lot of times, especially if they have a sociopathic or psychopathic trait in them. It's not just narcissism, but something deeper. Then they're really good. They learn through life to feign these things. But pay attention really to what their actions are. How are they being with others? Not just you, but others. Pay attention to how they listen to or don't listen to their friends. So then the next thing is respect. A healthy person has respect as a cornerstone of their character, especially men. Good, healthy men, especially men. They value opinions, boundaries, and autonomy of others, treating people with kindness and consideration. So, a narcissist disregards boundaries and the feelings of others. They may show controlling behavior, disrespect personal boundaries, and expect special treatment without reciprocation. This isn't just unhealthy men that do this, unhealthy women do this too. And I will tell you that a lot of times when we have been in these horrible relationships with these narcissistic people, sometimes we can take on some of the traits ourselves. And so as we work on healing ourselves from these things, we start to find and really recognize and notice what we're doing so we can heal and fix those in ourselves as well. But the next, that is the respect category. The next one is communication. Communication is huge. It's huge in any kind of relationship, whether it's a friendship or something else. But a healthy person, for them, effective communication is a priority. They will engage in honest, open conversations, listen, and seek understanding in conflicts. Now, I'll tell you, there's a lot of people that feel like men in general, that tend to have relationships with men, feel like men in general aren't very good at communication. They're not very good at listening. They just kind of dismiss you. That's not a healthy person. Whoever is doing that just isn't a healthy person. A healthy person will listen, will work to communicate with you. because you can't really get anywhere with anything in life unless you have good communication. So, an unhealthy person will have poor communication skills, will start talking over people. So pay attention to that in other people. They're talking over other people. They will gaslight. And so what gaslighting is, I'm going to do a whole thing on gaslighting. Look it up, but I am going to do a whole video on gaslighting because that's huge and very hurtful and can be danced around and look like it's really make you feel like it's you. If you're being gaslit, you are being made to feel like you're the problem when you're not. They are completely and blatantly. And also manipulating conversations to maintain control or just to validate their ego, like circling the conversation around them. Those are unhealthy things that an unhealthy person will do. The next category is accountability. So a healthy person will take responsibility for their actions. They will acknowledge their mistakes, and they will work towards constant self-improvement. And self-improvement is a lifetime thing. Always growing, always, bettering yourself. That is a journey of life. And if they aren't doing those things, that's not a good sign of a healthy person. So a healthy person will value honesty and integrity in all areas of their life, especially men. Men that are healthy and good, integrity is big for them. That's a male ego thing, but yeah, integrity is big for them. So the narcissist will deflect blame onto other people. During my unhealthy marriage, which was for nearly 2 decades, but during my unhealthy marriage, that was something that happened a lot. And I remember he would come home in a bad mood, and I would be all scared because I knew somehow it was going to be my fault. It could have nothing to do with me. Something somebody did at work, somehow it was my fault. So they will deflect blame on others, refuse to take responsibility for their own actions. They will not ever take responsibility. Now, there are people I have seen that sometimes will take responsibility, but not always. It's just not healthy to not take responsibility for your own actions. And they may engage in manipulative tactics to avoid accountability. So again, pay attention to what they're doing. Really keep your eyes open. The next category, relationship dynamics. So somebody that's healthy will value mutual respect. They will value, compromising where needed, collaborating with you where needed, a level of equality in the relationship. That's really important and a really healthy thing to have. Building that partnership with somebody based upon trust, based upon support of one another. That's a healthy dynamic. An unhealthy dynamic is where somebody will seek to dominate the relationship, be the one in charge, put the foot down, those types of things. Viewing others as extensions of themselves, so you're a property, you're part of them. They may manipulate, exploit, or devalue partners to maintain a sense of power and superiority. They may put you down, belittle you, devalue you, undermine you, not give you credit, really not give you credit, and exploit you, for sure. Next category, selfishness or selflessness versus self-centeredness. So of course a healthy person is going to be more selfless. They will demonstrate selfless acts by considering the needs and well-being of others, especially their partners. They are willing to make sacrifices, and they do show that they have genuine care and support of somebody. And that could be a friend, that could be a partner, but they will genuinely show it. They will truly show it in their actions. And sometimes those actions are little, and sometimes those actions are big, but they will show it. Now, a unhealthy person will display self-centered behavior, prioritizing their own desires. This is a very narcissistic thing, and seeking admiration and validation from others. It's all about them. Very self-centered. Their actions are driven by a need to have attention and validation. They're always trying to validate themselves. Nobody else is important. So then here are some signs to look for in a toxic relationship. There's a lack of trust. Trust is the foundation of any healthy relationship. That is it, priority number one. And in a toxic relationship, there's a persistent lack of trust between the partners. One or both individuals may be constantly doubting each other, which leads to jealousy, insecurity, and controlling behavior. If you are seeing signs of them and not trusting you, or are you beginning to not trust them, that's something to pay attention to. I know that I was shown that I wasn't trusted in my unhealthy marriage, and I was starting to not trust the other person as well. So then the next thing is constant criticism is in a toxic relationship. Criticism is pervasive and often aimed at belittling and undermining one's partner. This can erode self-esteem and create negative self-image in the partner that's having to live with a toxic person. It can go very far in the destruction of the psyche and mean really deeply needed healing. This criticism thing, you may think it's little, somebody's picking on me. Oh, I don't need to be such a baby. I need to put on my big girl pants or whatever it is. But no, it really will damage you. And that's one thing I know how to help you heal. So the next thing is manipulation control. Toxic partners will use manipulation and control tactics to dominate the relationship. This can manifest in emotional blackmail, gaslighting, isolation. That's a big thing, isolation. It's another thing to really pay attention to. If you have been in a relationship with someone and they're trying to keep you from having as much contact and relationships with your family, with your friends that you used to, that's something to be alarmed about. I don't care if they don't want you to have a friendship with Bob anymore because he's a man and he's jealous. Jealousy is not a healthy thing. It's not a healthy sign in a relationship. It's a sign of control and lack of trust and manipulation and control. The next thing is lack of communication. So we talked about communication already. Some of the other ones we did too, but pay attention to that. If they're just not communicating, or if they're yelling, or giving the silent treatment, those are unhealthy dynamics. And unbalanced power, somebody needing to have power all the time, needing to have the control. So it can lead to feelings of resentment, powerlessness, and unequal distribution of responsibilities. So you'll start to feel like you don't even have your own personal power. You can't even do anything. You'll start to feel that way when you've been in a relationship with somebody like this. And I can help you find it and get it back. There are many things that happen when you live with that. So then constant drama and turmoil. Is there fighting all the time? Is there yelling all the time? Is there never an agreement? Is there never a feeling of cohesiveness, or is that rare? Do you have just moments of happiness or moments where you're trying to convince yourself that you're happy, and most of the time it feels like drama and turmoil? You may love a person deeply, like completely, like you still see wanting to have a future with them, but most of your life, 50% of your life or 90% of your life is drama and turmoil with this person. It's not a healthy relationship. I'll tell you, it seems weird to a lot of people when I say this, but it's true. When it's right, it's easy. It is. It just flows. It's just easy. It's not hard. It's not work. It's easy. So if it's drama and turmoil, it's not right. It's very much not right. So the effects that this toxic relationship can have on you, it can affect your mental health in a big, big way. It can lead to huge levels of anxiety and depression, low self-esteem, self-worth, lack of feeling like you have power in your own life. Constant stress, it can lead to CPTSD, which is huge. That's one of the things that gets healed through my hypnotherapy processes. It can make you feel isolated. So even if you have parted from somebody who was unhealthy and toxic in the relationship, you can still have this feeling that you are needing to be isolated or don't have anybody. And also physical health consequences happen. They're big. Mental, physical and emotional, it's all connected. So when one's affected, one's traumatized, it will bleed into the others. So now a healthy relationship, this is what it looks like. This is what you can identify in a healthy relationship. Trust and transparency. My current husband doesn't care if I look at his phone. He tells me the code if he puts a code in there. He hands his phone to me and says, here, look for this. There is transparency. There is, and also you can count on that person. They're reliable. So being able to count on one another because there's a trust there. Not having a worry or a stress because there's trust there. Effective communication, really understanding each other and working to understand each other. And I will tell you that even healthy relationships, there can be disagreements because sometimes somebody just feels differently than the other person in a strong way. And sometimes it's a little bit of a struggle to help the other person understand what you're trying to say about something. But in a healthy relationship, it's where people are calm enough and they care enough about each other and they have enough respect. Remember, we talked about respect with one another to work to communicate what is needing to be communicated and having respect with each other in that communication. So then that leads into the next thing, respect and empathy. Because you care, you'll always care about the other person's feelings in a healthy relationship. And so you're going to have respect for them in the way that you talk with them and the way that you interact with them, no matter what your feelings are in the moment. Shared values and goals. You make long-term goals together. You really have some values that line up with one another. That's important in a healthy relationship. So that's something to look for. Individual growth and support. So in a healthy relationship, it's allowed for an individual to grow and for an individual to express themselves. And you are encouraging each other in their own growth and their own expression and their own desires and whatever they want to do. There's a sense of autonomy and independence within the relationship. Partners celebrate each other's successes, providing encouragement and a safe space for vulnerability and growth. So even though when I got this building, this new place I'm in now, my husband was scared. He was scared because it wouldn't have been the choice he would have made, but he's supporting me and he was here with me till 2 o'clock in the morning for 3 weeks in a row, getting up early to help me finish and have this place ready because he supports me. So then, quality time and affection. So it's important to each person to spend quality time together, to show affection in whatever ways that happens. And that happens through physical touch, through words, through, the way you spend time together, lots of different ways to share that affection. But each person will contribute to that, to show each other how they care. Trying to get a call. And then, so in conclusion, nurturing a healthy relationship requires dedication, effort, and a commitment to mutual growth and well-being. And each of you want to if you're a healthy person. So that's something to pay attention to as well. And you can tell when you spend any time with somebody, you can tell what they really, really want if you're looking. So look and see. And if you're in an unhealthy relationship right now, if you're being gaslit, if you're being belittled, if you're being isolated, if you're being dominated and controlled, if you're being hit, then you can find a way out. And if you don't think you have any way, talk to me. I might be able to help you find a way. And in the meantime, even while you're there, even if you want to start the healing while you don't know how you can get out yet, or it's going to be a few months, we can start the healing together. Just come talk to me and I'll see what I can do to help you. But I hope that is very helpful in you discerning those relationships. And everyone have a beautiful rest of your night. Love and light.